welcome to the stage Ms. Renata Jardim, who will help us understand the subtle yet powerful influence the objects around us have in shaping who we are.
That wasn't on purpose. Well, already having troubles with the material things around us. Well, good evening, everyone. Wow, I'm on stage. That's huge. Today I'm going to be here to talk a little bit about the invisible. The invisible, the unknown that surrounds us. When I first saw the theme for the event, which is Exploring the Unknown, I thought, well, this is basically what I call my life. I mean, my life as a researcher, but also my life as a teacher. I mean, have you ever tried to understand the mind of a teenager? I mean, it's pretty much the definition of the unknown. The world expects teachers to have the answers for an ever-changing world. We must prepare our students for a future that is unknown. We teachers do not know what this future is going to be like. But actually, we never did. The future is, and it has always been, unknown. And when we face the unknown, we fear, we feel anxiety. But it's also the moment in which humans create. This is a human feature. As a researcher, I am a historian, but also an archaeologist. And I bet that there is someone in the audience right now thinking, yes, finally a talk about dinosaurs. No, we don't do dinosaurs. I just want to make that clear. Okay, can't miss the chance of having this recorded. Archaeologists actually deal with the material culture, with the unknown that surrounds human existence in itself. After many years working as a teacher and as a researcher, I came to the conclusion that there are three basic human features. Humans need to belong. We need to belong to a community. We need to feel that we belong. Humans need to better understand who we are, our identity. And humans have the remarkable, the incredible ability of crafting the world that surrounds us. Absolutely everything that surrounds us. Humans feel the need to belong and to craft. Humans are quite fragile. I mean, when we think, looking at me, for example, right now, in the wild, not very strong. Living in groups is, and it has always been, the feature that made us strong. The fact that we were collaborating, that we were together, is what makes humans strong. The Ubuntu philosophy that is so oversimplified on the internet nowadays by the phrase, I am because you are, brings the idea that I can only have my well-being if those around me also feel well. The Brazilian geographer Milton Santos defined identity in a way that I think it's really clear, and it says a lot about this human feature. Identity is the feeling of belonging to what belongs to you. Humans need to feel that they belong to something greater than ourselves. Humans also craft. We create, we design. Everything you see around us right now is technology. And technology is always an answer to a problem. When we think about technology, we tend to forget that. Modernity brought this fascination about the world that we have created. We never created so much stuff, and we create and we buy it and we use it and we throw it away and we buy more. And we're so fascinated, just like Narcissus, looking at the world that we have crafted ourselves. When we think about, I think this image is interesting because it was AI generated. It's the only one in the presentation. I just put the word technology, and this is the image that came out. when we think about new technologies, we're currently living this hype of AI. And then we feel that excitement again, wow, we have internet, we have AI, we have facial recognition, we have so many things that are here to work on our benefit. We have so much more time left. But do we? Do we have this time for us? Are the things here around here to serve our needs? What if I told you that every single object is silently telling you what to do, how to behave, where to look? Why are you looking at me right now? Is it what I say? Is it the tone of my voice? Or is it because of the stage, the microphone, the projector, the chairs? What an invisible and yet remarkable object is a chair. A chair has the power of making kings, CEOs, and Year 7 students to sit down in its own silent and quiet way. It is so obvious that it's invisible, and we tend not to pay attention at it. I've seen the material world. I've seen the transition between the material and the non-material world, the digital world. I still remember what these objects are. I am a millennial myself, and I still remember a time in which the material world was all we knew. And it was exciting, and it was remarkable. As a teenager, I used to imagine that I would live a future, the future which would be the era of knowledge. But it turns out that it wasn't the era of knowledge. It was the era of information, which is not the same. The era of information and the era of productivity at all cost. When I was only 7, I read a book in primary school about the life of a soda can. I don't know why, but I still remember this book. It was probably to teach us about recycling or something. But in the book, the can was humanized. It had a face, it had feelings, it had friends. It had a life. And there was a certain moment in the book that shocked me, in which the can was thrown in the trash bin and died. And then I thought, things also have a social life. And if they are alive, they can also die. Many years later, for my master's, I read another book that brought me back to a reflection that I first had when I was 7. Arjuna Padurai is an anthropologist, and he wrote about the social life of things. We interact with humans, but we also interact with objects at all time. And they're silently defining who we are, our identity, our needs, and our thoughts. Things, just like humans, also have a social life. When the human hands craft objects, they do have a value of use. In our society particularly, we transform these objects into commodities, and we sell them, and we buy them, and we use them, and we throw it away. The working hands that craft the world. Sorry. Another author also mentioned in the previous talk, Byung-Chul, writes about this transition that I have witnessed myself. Oh my God, I think I'm getting old. Of this, what he calls the non-things. The apps, the web pages, the information, the data. These are also stuff, things that have been crafted by humans and are silently and subtly telling us what to do and what to think. The crafting hands, the working hands that in the past used to craft the world are now not only doing that, but are also gently scrolling and zooming in and zooming out, touching a smooth screen. The fingers that in the past would only craft the world are now pointing and selecting what are we going to consume. Just pleasure, no work, just pleasure of instant gratification. We may use, and listen to that, the young ones, the non-digital and the digital. We may use AI, Google, just like you use a pen or a paper. But we shall never use it at a cost of our humanity in itself. The first time I used AI was to eliminate anger from an email I was writing at work. In the past, it used to take me like 2 days to reply an email like that. I put it on ChatGPT, it was ready in a second. I was mesmerized. I said, that's fantastic. Problem solved. I just replied the email and I was no longer thinking about the problem. But was it? Was it the problem solved? Was I actually dealing with my emotions? I used AI to eliminate the humanity that was in me. We shall use everything we create, anything that fosters our humanity. It may be AI, Google, internet, a pen, a paper, a brush, anything that will allow us to create, to innovate, and to be with people around us. Our identity is not defined by the stuff we had, by what we buy, or by how much money we make, but it's defined by the people we have around us and the social interactions we have around us. We have urgently to rethink our relationship with the digital and the non-digital. Humanity is reflected in our needs to connect and our creative power. I choose to be an educator because it's revolutionary. I have the privilege every day to interact with my students. And when I do so, I have the opportunity of becoming a better version of myself. Being an educator and being among people is making me more human and allows me to create and change and revolutionize and teach students not to be ready to the future because I don't know what the future is going to be like, but teach them to think, to question, to theorize about the unknown that surrounds us. Thank you very much.